On this week's episode of Nick and Jeff, we're saying goodbye to our Nintendo Switches for 8 years.
Bye,
Switch 2
Switches.
comes out in like 3 days. Nick, 3 sleeps. So we're going to talk everything and all the memories that the Nintendo Switch has brought us.
Alrighty, we are back. Thank you for that beautiful intro, Jeffrey. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, or if you're listening on podcast services, share us with your friends. It'll help us grow and it'll help us make more content for you.
I think it failed.
All
right. I don't know if that worked, but let's keep going, Nick.
All right, we're still going. It's funny. What a world we could live. How do streamers not have technical issues all the time? I feel like we always have technical issues, and I'm just like, is it because we live in Australia with crappy internet and we just can't keep up? Is that what it is?
I don't know. Nick was saying goodbye to the Nintendo Switch. Do you remember what it was like to have a Wii U and wait for that Switch to come out?
I remember being really, really excited for the Switch because it was that first time when, like, you know, we had the Wii U and we had the 3DS, and everyone was like, they have to combine them. Today's like, this next console has to be the thing. It's going to be the thing that, like, no more handheld, no more home console. It's going to be one, and it's going to be amazing. And then they revealed the Switch, and it was everything that we wanted it to be. So it was a very exciting time. Do you remember much from back in those days?
I think it was. I feel like there's a whole like 6-7 months of just nothing, maybe. And maybe because we played Smash Brothers so much and Pikmin 3 so much, which we still play, it didn't... I don't remember there being a massive gap, but there would have to be.
Well, yeah, I think...
Because that E3, that year of E3 when Wii U was still around, it was like, hey, we got one game at E3, it's just Breath of the Wild, that's it.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember anything else after that.
Well, yeah, I remember it was when, was it Horizon Zero Dawn first came out? And I think...
yeah, Breath of the Wild was like 3 days later.
Yeah, and it was like, well, we're not going to... I remember, I'm pretty sure I didn't touch Horizon for ages because I was like, well, they look like very similar kind of games, and I didn't want to tarnish Zelda at the time. But looking at that first year...
It was hard to go back to Horizon.
Oh, yeah, it was. But looking at that first year... There were, I'd say, a few pretty big hits from... I mean, I know you played the crap out of ARMS in that first year.
Oh,
and I played like 120 hours of Splatoon 2 because I missed Splatoon 1. But, yeah, what do you think about that first year?
Well, even Xenoblade Chronicles 2, right? Which I did try for like 5-6 hours. That's a huge RPG game, but between Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, and then you sprinkle it with Pokken Tournament, Splatoon, and Mario Kart, damn, what a banger of a year.
I still look back and I'm like, I'm still annoyed by 1-2 Switch. I feel like that was should have been tied in.
The only game I returned.
Yeah, just awful. And as much as I played the crap out of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like, I played that game to death. And it was like the first video that sparked Nick and Jeff.
You launched this channel.
Yeah, launched this channel with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which was still like, I don't know, a bit sad that it was a Wii U game that I was playing over and over again now on the Switch, but I digress.
Yeah, I didn't get into Mario Kart 8. I didn't want to double dip. I did, and I double dipped on a few titles.
Yeah,
but I don't know, I didn't love it at the start. Nick, was there any features of the Switch that kind of amazed you, like at the start? Like, they probably take it for granted now.
Yeah, we take it for granted now. But I remember when 1-2 Switch came out and it had like not 1-2 Switch. I think it was the first Mario Party. It came out and it had like a few mini games where like you can roll around some nuts and stuff, and you like feel that HD rumble for the first time. And I remember thinking that was kind of a cool feature, but still just like I don't need this.
Yeah.
I think I said to you before we started, I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be as positive about the Switch 2 as maybe as you imagine I might be, or as much as I hoped. Because I think for me, the Switch has always been a secondary console and not a primary console. And I think a lot of people would maybe agree with that. As much as we love
Well,
Nintendo games.
I agree. Like, you always had your handheld, right? And that was your secondary thing.
Yeah.
And that kind of, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so it just I don't know. As much as like when Nintendo games come out, we obviously love them and we're very passionate about them and we probably love the Nintendo games more than the PlayStation games, but I think the PlayStation is a little bit more consistent for me and just gives me I think it gives me more, for lack of a better word, adult experiences
Oh,
that
okay.
I gravitate to a little bit more. As much as and that's the thing, as much as I loved Zelda and enjoyed Zelda, it's still one of those games. I'm like, it's so long. I don't think I can go back and play. I don't think I can go back and play Zelda. Like, give me that HD Wind Waker. Like, I want that 30-hour Zelda, or even Twilight Princess, which is like 50 hours. But I feel like if I were to replay Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, that's still almost a guaranteed like 80 to 100-hour game, and there's still lots of fluff in there. I think that I just wouldn't care for. Yeah, I don't know. What about? Honestly, I don't know if you want to go through the Switch year by year or whatever, but I've got like we've both got a picture up of calendar year of like sort of main Nintendo games. So if you want to, we can jump ahead to 2018.
Yeah, 2018 is fun. I just really want to say, I think the Switch hardware for me was a total game changer, I guess, on
Oh yeah.
how I play games. And one thing I really take for granted, and what I noticed the most of all between the big boy consoles, is it's the instant on and off feature that your phone
Mm,
has.
mm,
Right? You press a button, your phone's instantly on. You press the Switch, it is. Well, you press it three times. Well, I've got it set to three times. It is back to exactly where you were,
mm,
where the Wii U, you turned it off and then you kind of lost your progress or wherever you were. And I really remember when the PS5 launched, and the PS5 had instant resume as well,
mm,
but it crashed constantly, like all the time. And I think I just got so frustrated because to me, the PS5 is, I need to commit myself time to go sit down and play. I can't play for 10-minute, 20-minute chunks. Whereas the Switch, it just felt like I was exactly back where I was. And I just really remember Breath of the Wild. Didn't matter if I played 5 minutes or 5 hours. I accomplished something in the game. There was
mm.
some sort of goal I could work towards, and that was like, I guess, my favorite hardware feature is just on and off, instant. I can just pause. Doesn't matter where I was. But
Yeah, that's a good
yeah, that's
point.
something just wanted to talk about. And I just don't have that same feeling with PS5. Um, especially at the start of the PS5's launch and Xbox. Oh well, we barely played that.
No,
So
yeah, you're right. I completely agree.
yeah,
I think you make a good point. I feel like the sitting down to play the PS5, or even when we had PS4 at the time, but sitting down to play the PlayStation feels more like a commitment. Like I've got a day off, and like cool chores are done, and like cool, I can sit down on the couch, beep, and turn it on. Whereas the Switch was just like a if you jump on the train or something, or you're traveling, or even if you wake up in bed, you can roll over, you switches on your bedside table, turn it on, and just off you go, and then you can stop and keep going. You're right. That's it's probably one of its best features.
I think I also think about like when like cool, waiting for Andrew to have a shower, go to the toilet or whatever, and then we're going out. I could still play 5-10 minutes of something.
Hmm.
Um, but now I just scroll on my phone. But
That's a good point.
yeah, Nick.
Year two.
What else did I? Year two.
There's not really a whole
Um,
lot in year two that I think excites me
well,
apart from
well,
Pokemon Let's Go.
I'll rattle off the games, Nick, for the listeners and everyone else who's not looking at
Yeah.
the
All
big
right.
picture that we're looking
I
at.
gotta say the big picture, which I can't see, is Kirby something, Bayonetta. I think it's Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2, maybe Bayonetta 3.
Yep,
Mario
1 and 2.
Tennis,
Wow,
Donkey Kong
really?
Tropical Freeze, Mario Party, Hyrule Warriors, Captain Toad, Let's Go, Pokemon Eevee and Pikachu, Mario Party, or Super Mario Party, and Smash Brothers Ultimate.
And you forgot Labo.
Oh, is that what that is? Is Labo?
Lab-
What's
yeah, I didn't realize Labo was in year 2 of Switch
is
because
that?
everyone had that. We had that silly
Oh, Labo. Yeah,
infrared, the
that's
infrared part of the
right. Yeah.
Joy-Con. Um, Labos, as a Lego fan, Nick,
Yeah.
Labos a really cool creation. Is it a fun game? I don't know. I haven't played any games, but building the stuff is fun.
If you say so.
I have a whole unopened box of the very first Labo. Maybe one day in the future I'll
Might be worth something.
yeah, maybe.
I think I remember there was a big hubbub at the start with Pokemon Let's Go and how people didn't like that it was like Pokemon Go where you just catch Pokemon and lots of stuff. But eventually, I think that game is highly underrated and kind of forgotten a little bit. Like
Okay.
I'm very surprised and a little bit disappointed we didn't get a Let's Go Ho-Oh and Let's Go Lugia, which could be coming for Switch 2, but I don't know, just a remake for Gold and Silver surely has to be coming for Switch 2 at some point.
It is, Nick. Those two games were the best looking Pokemon games.
Yeah, they
on
were.
Switch. Actually, Pokemon Snap probably looks good. I just haven't played enough.
Yeah, we didn't play a lot on that. But do you remember the hype? So obviously, I thought Smash came out sooner, but obviously the Switch had been out for, I guess, all of 2017.
The second year, I didn't realize it came out in the second year of the Switch's life cycle.
Yeah.
Maybe it was later in the year. Surely it's like a November game, but I feel like that's pretty soon.
But do you remember all the hype and all the trailers that would come out, and every time there's more and more, and then
incredible.
Like the Everyone Is Here trailer, and then we get over the years we got the DLC passes with like, oh, there's a new trailer of like, oh, who's the next character going to be, and it was so exciting.
I think the DLC characters were more exciting than the Everyone Is Here reveal to me.
Oh yeah.
Because I didn't feel like that many people left. Yeah, Pichu and Dr. Mario and Snake, and like most of the people, Ice Climbers, okay, but like there wasn't that many characters that I'm like, oh, I miss them so dearly, and they're not replaced by something better or something similar, like Mewtwo and Lucario, or kind of similar. I don't know. It's great.
But I think at this point, for me, you know what else we didn't talk about it at all. But I still feel like a lot of the Switch felt just like ported from Wii U stuff, like with getting.
Of course, there's heaps.
With and I think that's why looking back over the years of like looking at all these games, I'm like, oh, that was on Wii U. Oh, that was on Wii U. Oh, that was on. Oh, that was on the Wii. Like these are just they're just moving all.
Donkey Kong Country HD.
But
Nick, Xenoblade Chronicles. We're gonna experience that again as Switch 2 editions.
Yeah.
And to sidetrack, like you see some Nintendo games are getting like free patches for performance or better frame rates or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But then there's some games that are missing, right? Pikmin 4.
Yeah.
Mario Wonder. I'm sure there's some others, but I'm like, does that mean they're gonna get a Switch 2 edition version?
Makes a good point, but we skimmed over it completely, but I think it's arguably got to be one of Switch's top 3 games. In 2017, Super Mario Odyssey. We didn't talk about that at all.
That was the banger of the start of the year between Zelda, Mario Kart, and Mario Odyssey. It was just incredible. Why would you not get this machine?
Yeah, like one of my friends, one of my friends at work was talking to me recently, and she was like, "Oh, my mum wants to get a Switch." I'm like, "Okay." She's like, "But she really likes Mario. What games would you recommend?" I was like, "Oh, if she really likes, old school Mario from the 64, then Mario Odyssey is the game you need to give her. Not like not New Super Mario Brothers or Mario Wonder or anything like that. If she likes the 3D Mario Odyssey is one of the best games ever created." And So we didn't really talk about that, but it's definitely worth mentioning that game because that was definitely something that was very, very exciting in 2017.
Well, I think I replayed it last year. Man, it still holds up. So incredible, so varied. Cappy, just that when you discover the jump, what was it? The double jump, throw Cappy, bounce to Cappy, forward, bounce off him. Yeah. Oh.
So satisfying.
So fun.
But All right, we're moving on
Nick, well,
to.
2018, you missed the best one, Nick.
Oh,
Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I made you buy it because you skipped it on the Wii U. Something happened and you bought
yeah,
it.
something. Yeah, there was. I made you some sort of. I think it. You know
Maybe
what?
maybe it was $50 or something. It was on special for
No,
$50.
you know what? I feel like it was in my mind. I think it was the habanero pepper video we did for Mario Kart. I was like, I was like, if you do this video with me, I'll buy and play Mario Donkey Kong. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And then we did that awful video, and then I had to go through that awful game and do both. Yeah, another
All right.
port, another port.
Another 2019, Nick. We had most important Labo VR. Skip that one.
Mm-hmm.
Ring Fit Adventure, which huge, but that I feel like that's a more 2020 experience. But I'll explain why in a second. Pokemon Sword and Shield, massive. We had a Game Boy, Game Boy port of Link's Awakening, Astral Chain, Luigi's Mansion 3,
Wow.
some Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Fire Emblem Three Houses.
That's probably the.
We had a port of New Super Mario Brothers Deluxe. New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe, Mario Maker 2, and Yoshi game I never finished. And what's the standout for 2019, Nick?
You know, I feel like it has to be Fire Emblem, right? Hands down, has to be Fire Emblem. Maybe Luigi's Mansion for you, but
oh yeah,
I don't know. For me, I didn't like. I played Pokemon Sword and Shield, but Pokemon didn't sink its teeth into me again until I want to say like 2021, 2022, and now I'm more addicted to Pokemon than I've ever been in my life since then. I don't know why. I don't know what happened, but that was when I went back and I replayed the Sword and Shield DLC, and then went and caught every Pokemon in Sword and Shield, but I didn't do that till a couple of years later. But I think at the time in the year it would have been Fire Emblem Three Houses, and we all chose different paths. I think I chose the main
I
blonde
think
dude.
that's what cemented our little trio, group chat, is when we all played Three Houses together, chose different houses, and I'm sure each one of us said we chose the right house.
Yeah, yeah.
My route was the best. Like what a huge game, and I loved every second of it. I never went to go back to play any other routes.
No,
Routes.
Yeah, and I think I'm kind of the same. Like sometimes I'm like I want to go back and replay a game, but then I'm also sometimes satisfied with the one that I played. That was the version that I got, and kudos to the people that played it 3 times and experienced all 3 stories. But it just I'm good. I got my fix of Fire Emblem from that.
Luigi's Mansion 3, Nick. I think I was just so hyped because I enjoyed Luigi's Mansion 2 so much because it was on the 3DS. Yeah, and then the missions were built for the length of my train trip, and I just remember having such great fond memories. It's kind of like it had that what's the Resident Evil Revelations, where it was just previously in Resident Evil Revelations, and it was just those 20-minute chunks, and then I'm like, Luigi's Mansion 3 is going to be so good. Absolutely delighted, totally original title, co-op.
Yep.
A bit slow replaying it a little bits pieces with my sister, but I had a great time.
But even again, like we were saying before, with the Switch being a side console, as much as we love to Switch, I think looking at 2019, it's still more of a side year for me. Like we played Fire Emblem and then Pokemon, but obviously you got into Luigi's Mansion, but there may be a 1 month each game, if that. Like you play Fire Emblem for a month, you would have played Luigi's Mansion for a month, and I guess we had the Link's Awakening, would have played that for a couple of weeks. But then the Switch would have sort of been put to bed the rest of the time. Obviously, I didn't get to Astral Chain till last year, and I had a lot of fun with that. I don't regret playing that at all. I think that was a lot of fun. I think again, a game that I would have preferred to have played on PS5 to have it be as most visually stunning and impressive as possible, but still a really fun. Still, with just Switch technology, it was very impressive with what they were able to do with this tiny little console. Just insane with really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Well, Nick, 2020, obviously, pandemic, COVID year. I do want to talk about Ring Fit Adventure, right? I played Ring Fit quite a little bit in 2019, but I think when COVID hit, I played the shit out of that thing, right? I played it every day. I live streamed it on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, what's the is it Twitch? Yeah,
Yeah, Twitch.
I don't even know what Twitch is.
The
I
popular
think
one.
yeah, I I just found it so fun, and it was something to do. And Nick, the Ring Fit Adventure is probably the most highest selling fitness accessory thing, and probably more highest selling than most of your PS5 games.
Oh, probably, yeah. I
Right?
think last I saw it was like 15 or 16 million, something like
15,
that.
16 million, like that's insane. And
Yeah.
the ring con is not broken,
No,
right?
yeah.
It still works.
Still works.
Um,
Yeah, I think for
but
me
yeah, so that
that was another
yeah.
one that I think I looked at and I was like, oh no, I haven't forgotten the Wii Balance Board, Nintendo. I don't need another thing in my house that's just going to sit.
Much better than the balance board.
And that's the thing. It looked like a much from everything that I saw you play. It looked like a much better game and better fitness accessory than.
It really is it really is an RPG.
But I just couldn't
but
do
yeah,
it. I was like, I'm already. I can go to the gym and do plenty there. I don't need another thing in my
yeah.
living room to be doing these ones. And
Go, go through the 2020 games, Nick.
all right, we have. Because I missed the Labo at the top before, so I got to scroll up and make sure it's there.
Well, it's Mario Kart Live.
Mario Kart Live,
Home
yeah.
Circuit. Home circuit.
The game that has now disappeared that caused you all the paranoia, the Mario 3
Yeah.
Mario 3D collection. Pikmin
Not for the
3
reason you think it is,
no.
listeners.
Pikmin 3 Deluxe, which I'm surprised looking at it now. I'm like, oh, that was 2020. I thought we got that sooner. Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, Xenoblade Chronicles, is that number 1?
Definitive edition, yeah. Number 1, yeah.
Worldwide Games, Clubhouse Games, Paper Mario. Ooh, what's that? Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem Sharp FE. I think it's Wii U port.
Yes. Animal Crossing. I think that's Animal Crossing was what Switch's second biggest selling game, and then it looks like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon.
Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. I think so. Again, that's a DS GBA port.
Yeah, I think another port.
I haven't played that one.
But okay, so hold on. Looking at the year, the only games that were new were Animal Crossing, the Mario Kart Live, and I want to say, was it Paper Mario?
Paper Mario and Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. That's a pretty big one.
Oh yeah, that was still a new game. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Clubhouse Games sort of. I don't know if they whipped that together really fast, but I think that was early in the pandemic, maybe. And I have really vivid memories of Paper Mario was announced maybe just after Animal Crossing, and then it came out like a month later. And I thought, do they not have any faith in this game? But it to me, it's the best Paper Mario game I've ever played.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I remember playing it at the time, and I was like, this is awesome. Yeah.
And it was great because I managed to do everything because I was just on, on Teams, Zoom or whatever at work or at home.
And obviously, I can't believe Pikmin 3 Deluxe didn't come out until 2020. So, like, how were we playing Pikmin before that? Were we still booting up the Wii
U? Well, that's when I sold the Wii U. As soon as Pikmin 3 Deluxe was announced.
Is that when it was?
That's when I sold the Wii U.
Right. So we were still booting up the Wii U to play Pikmin for that. Wow. Yeah, geez, that feels like so long ago. That's unreal. Yeah, I remember like Hyrule Warriors didn't catch me because I played so much of that on the Wii U, and I didn't.
I never played the first one.
Yeah,
what's the
just Hyrule Warriors?
Did you play that on the Wii? Oh, you played it on Wii, not Switch.
Yeah, just on Wii U. But yeah, Animal Crossing. I feel like Animal Crossing needs to be talked about. I mean, like Chrissy still plays. Christine, my sister, still plays all the time. I saw it when we went away camping for the weekend over Easter a couple months ago. She was still playing. We're all sitting there as a family.
I think I sent you. You had. I don't remember exactly, but it's like, let's say you had $20 in eShop credit or something, and I sent you like 55. Like Nick, just $5 more, and you can get. It was. I think it's for your birthday or something, and like you can get Animal Crossing too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and that's the like. It's still a fun game. I still enjoy it, but there's not like. I remember complaining to you about it at the time, and it still irks me today. Is that there's no activities you can do together. Like if you come into my world, or all it essentially is just me going like, here's
Look
my
at that thing I built.
Here's my flowers. Here's a thing I have here, and then like you can't. But that's the thing. They have surfboards. You can't go surfing in the water. There's a ping pong table. You can't go use the ping pong table or anything.
I don't think you missed my 8-player tree chopping digging adventure thing
Yeah,
that spent hours and hours and
yes,
hours collaborating on. I don't know how I did that. Woodshop
yeah,
Festival.
yeah. So what Jeffrey's talking about is if you go onto our YouTube channel and maybe type in Nick and Jeff Animal Crossing, I remember you sunk hours and hours into
I did.
the setup of like this almost like a challenging maze where people had to like chop down trees and then dig a path and then do this and that, like all these things to get to the end in like some sort of makeshift
I can't
race.
believe
Like, oh man.
I can't believe I pulled it off. And then obviously I was able to record the whole thing,
Mm,
and it didn't crash.
mm,
Like, because getting people to your island was so tedious,
yeah,
and the whole game stops. I like I was kind of over Animal Crossing, but like I bought it, right? Because
yeah,
everyone bought it. But because of the pandemic, everyone churned through the game, right?
yeah,
You meant to do over like just a little bit every day. People are
yeah,
spending like 10 hours a day
yeah.
playing the
That's
game.
a good point.
And
Yeah,
so
just perfect,
but
perfect time.
that that whether you find the game fun or not, or you spent 10 hours or 1,000 hours playing it,
Mm,
it skyrocketed the Switch's live and people buying the system,
mm.
right? Without fail, like the Switch wouldn't have lasted as long or
Without,
gone for
yeah,
another 5 years without Animal Crossing.
yeah,
There's no way.
yeah, you make a good point. Yeah, just insane what that year did. What that year did there. Do you want to take us to 2021?
2021, Big Brain Academy, oof. Game Builder Garage,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Pokemon Snap, new Pokemon Snap,
New Pokemon Snap.
Diamond and Pearl Pokemon, another Mario Party,
Mm.
Zelda Skyward Sword port, some WarioWare game, Miitopia, something I can't
Yeah, I can't
interpretate,
make that one out. Yep.
Mario Golf, uh, another port, Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, um,
And
looks like
then
Famicom Detective Club, and the two that I can't read, I won't bother. But Metroid Dread,
mm,
Metroid Dread.
Metroid
Now I'm so
Dread.
curious what those are.
Yeah, no, I'm like
But
they must be maybe Japan. The one that says
oh, I think it's the Powerpuff, not the like the Teen Girl Spirit, like DC Heroes, Teen Girls,
oh
and
yeah.
then well, one says Bond. I really don't know what that is.
Mm,
Um,
Jeez, wait, another like I look at the year and I'm like, there was like like pretty much just Metroid Dread, and then
just Dread.
just Dread. I mean, we replayed Skyward Sword, but again, that's another port or remake or whatever, and it wasn't the one that we wanted. We wanted the Twilight Princess Wind Waker set, and like another Mario Party, a Diamond and Pearl that people didn't really care about, the Mario Golf that I played and returned within 2 days just to get our video. Like, just like it seems like, and yeah, Pokemon Snap. People wanted that game for 20 years, and then it just kind of, yeah,
Came and went. Well, like I think I would rather, like, I bought the game, right,
mm,
and I've enjoyed what I played, but I'd rather just go play the Nintendo 64 game for 2 hours and get 100% than
yeah,
go play new Pokemon Snap.
yeah,
Even though I should.
yeah. No, I'm totally on your side, and I feel like the game didn't work or play the same sort of way as the original one, and like the secrets were harder to figure out, and it didn't really. I don't know. It just wasn't as fun. I think I would have just preferred a HD version of the original.
I want to give it a second chance.
Mm,
Like I want to, and now that we're back in Pokemania mode, I want to try and replay it, but I probably won't.
maybe on Switch too. Maybe do it on Switch too.
Nick, there is one before we get to Metroid Dread, which is
Mm.
my favorite of the year easily.
Oh yeah.
Bowser's 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. It kind of brought in this new thing, like, hey, it's the Wii U was like 4 years ago at this point.
Mm.
You're still making ports, but now you're making ports plus new content.
Exactly. And
But the Bowser's Fury content is what I can't wait to replay that on my Switch 2 tablet and in HDR, like for some reason.
fair enough.
I just really want to replay that mode again. It's really fun, but I think Mario 3D World, yeah, they sped it up. It's like characters move like 1.3 times the speed or something.
Oh.
It's a really fun game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, like it was another one that we'd already sort of played, but it was. I remember playing little bits of it here and there again when it came out, and I'm like, yeah, it's still a great game. But again, just more ports and things that we're just like, we don't care about WarioWare. I would have probably played Diamond and Pearl if it was maybe if it was Diamond and Pearl. Let's go Diamond and Pearl. But the art style, I think, going back to being, it was even more like cutesy
Little chibi.
and just like chibi, and it just was like, and not to mention when we had surprise, is it not on this? Oh, it's not till 2022. But when we had Legends Arceus coming up, which wasn't too far away, and it was the same Pokemon. You know, like it was the same generation of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh, you're cutting in and out. Hold on, I'm going to take over here for a second while your internet stabilizes. But yeah, Pokemon Legends Arceus was the same generation of Pokemon that we had for Diamond and Pearl, and it just wasn't the same.
Anyway, I think you're back. Cool. I'm hoping you were talking that entire time.
I tried.
Whatever you said.
Yeah, I tried. I tried talking.
Yours will keep recording.
Yeah, I tried to talk over you, but there was a couple of little noises there. We might have to edit that bit out. We'll see. People listening in their cars, all two people being like, "Oh, what's going on? Did I skip or did Nick and Jeff they broke again?" People are probably so used to it by now, being like, "Oh, we'll just wait 10
I'm
seconds."
sure you're talking about Pokemon, and I want to skip to Metroid Dread, and I just want to say how incredible that game was.
Yeah.
There's been so many Metroid-like indie titles or whatever, and then they just absolutely smashed it out of the park. I'm like, hey, this is how you make a Metroidvania deal today.
Yeah.
And how fast Samus is, and the counter, and just the Emmys. And I think that's probably the only Switch game I've replayed like 3 or 4 times.
That was going to be my question. I was like, how many times did you play? I mean, like I played it twice, and I remember it being even better the second time. But yeah, I can't believe you played it. Yeah, I remember you played it a few times.
I think because it's like first time maybe 12 hours, but the second time you can do it in like 6 or 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Something. Nick, 2022 was the year of Pokemon and games with 3. Fire Emblem 3 Hopes, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Splatoon 3, Bayonetta 3.
Yeah, wow. It was a year of 3s.
Yeah. Two massive Pokemon games. And then that's just coming off the back of Diamond and Pearl. It's too much Pokemon. All back to back. Why would they do that?
Well, I guess, yeah. Do we have... there's a Pokemon in...
Oh, and Wii Sports.
Yeah.
Sports.
There's Pokemon in 2018, Pokemon in 2019. They took a break in 2020 by the looks of it, unless you count Mystery Dungeon. But then, Diamond and Pearl in 2021, then Scarlet, Violet, and Arceus in 2022. And that was a great year for Pokemon. Well, I mean, I remember that was the year I discovered girlfriend reviews. Like, you showed me the girlfriend review of Scarlet and Violet and be like, just imagine the most richest franchise in the world that makes the most money more than anything. Now, just imagine what that game would look like. And it's just, all these cuts of Scarlet and Violet looking as terrible as it did, and Arceus running as poorly as that people said that it did online. Yeah, I didn't really get into Splatoon 3.
Not Arceus, Scarlet Violet.
Yeah, Scarlet Violet. But it was a great year for Pokemon.
I like Splatoon 3. I think because I didn't play I like the single player missions in Splatoon 3 very much, and the multiplayer I didn't do a lot in. I could just never. Everyone says use the motion controls, but they just didn't feel good to me. And the only game that felt perfect with motion controls was Breath of the Wild. Like, just you go in and then the motion like turns on, but there was no control scheme like that. And then everyone was just better than me, so it's hard to play multiplayer.
Yeah, I don't think...
Bayonetta 3. Oof.
Yeah, no, everyone sort of give that a bit of a miss.
Can't recommend that. I finished it.
But it's funny how many games, looking back, how many games we didn't actually play on the Switch that were just like, I mean, for the people that want them, good for them, but just weren't for us. Yeah, you played Bayonetta 3, didn't you?
Well, I played Bayonetta. Well, I played Nick. I've actually played in 2022. I've played every game. Doesn't mean I finished every game. I've played every game there. Kirby and Forgotten Land to me was a game I wasn't interested in, and then Andrew just bought it for me. It's like, here you go. I know you weren't going to do it, so I just did it for you,
Yeah.
as he does.
Yeah.
And I really loved that game, and I can't wait for the DLC in Switch 2 edition. Just getting them 100%, and yeah, Kirby's awesome. The other Kirby games I just can't get into.
Yeah, no.
That one really good.
Yeah. But even, Scarlet and Violet, I think it must have been the year, was it 2022? Maybe 2023 was when I really...
Yeah.
End of 2022, start of 23 was when I really...
They came out in November.
Got into... Yeah. That's when Pokemon really got me. And obviously, Arceus, we played the crap out of, and I think for me that was probably my Switch game of the year if I had to pick one out of that bunch. Arceus was just something that no one really expected. It was something so different. It was just full of adventure and wonder and exploration. And obviously, you've replayed it, and I just watched a video of how good it was to play again. And what a great game. And I'm really looking forward to Legends ZA on the new one. Really, really exciting. Moving on to 2023, we got Advance Wars 1 and 2, which I've bought but have not played at all. Super Mario Wonder.
Game Boy Advance port again.
Yeah, another Game Boy Advance port. Mario Wonder. Some sort of Wario Screamin' carrying on there. Super Mario RPG. Pikmin 1 and 2, another port. Pikmin 4. Yes. Detective Pikachu. I don't know what that is. I think that's
Bayonetta and the Lost Demon Cereza.
Cereza. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Tears of the Kingdom. What is that? Everybody horses.
Everybody want to switch.
Everybody want to switch. My good lord! This is a terrible thumbnail. I can't read anything. Something Kirby. I think it's some sort of Kirby party game.
Kirby is a Wii game. Return to Dreamland Deluxe, and they added a whole bunch of new content as well to that one.
Yes, Fire Emblem Engage, and then Metroid Prime Remastered. That I feel like 2023 was a good year. 2023 is a good year.
Yeah,
like Pikmin 4, Tears of the
Kingdom. Started off with Fire Emblem.
Yeah, Pikmin 1 and 2.
Zelda came out, then Pikmin 4 ended in Mario Wonder, I think, and Mario RPG sort of towards the end of the year.
And Metroid Prime remember that came out of nowhere?
Yeah, Shadow dropped. I think that was before Zelda.
I think it was before Zelda. But yeah, great year. Really great year. Obviously, Metroid was another port, but it was a port of a game that came out in, 2003. So it's significantly older. Well, same as Pikmin 1 and 2, I guess. But Pikmin 1 and 2 was still...
20 years.
Yeah.
20 years, Nick.
And Pikmin 1 and 2 was still ported onto, was it the Wii and Wii U, whatever it was. So... they didn't feel as new or as exciting as getting Metroid.
But I think what was cool about getting Pikmin 1 and 2 is, hey, you can play every Pikmin game, excluding the 3DS one that no one talks about, on Switch. To me, that was cool. Hey, you can play, nearly every Zelda game. Not everyone. On Switch, it's like, hey, you want to play every Mario RPG? They're on Switch. Not quite for everything, but that kind of feeling kind of felt like, hey, man, do you want to get a Switch console now? Like, hey, what Mario game? This is the point. What Mario game should I get? Well, hey, there's this one, this one, this one, this one. Take a pick. Like, all this Nintendo history on the current console.
Yeah, that's right. And that's it. Looking back at it all, we've talked about Zelda to death. I don't think I would have had as much fun with it if we didn't end up glitching the game halfway through, because there's too much. I hate fluff and padding in games, and I feel like that had a lot of fluff and padding. I didn't want to go around collecting more Gashapon things to collect to be able to. I just wanted to be able to make the things I wanted to make. I didn't want to have to go and go get supplies to do that.
And I 100% agree. But I think the way I want to defend the Zeldas, right? Like it's like the Koroks. Oh, there's no point getting all 900 Koroks. You're not meant to do everything, I guess. It's like just wherever you go, there is a discovery. but you don't need to go everywhere. And then that's on us, and that's kind of like me replaying Pokemon Arceus. I'm just like, oh,
we can't help
can't
it
help
though.
myself.
We can't help it. Can't help it. And that's it. I feel like Zelda was almost two different games for us because I think we played like a good half of it at least. I reckon I played a good like 60 hours without cheating, and then the rest of it for the end. Cheat.
It was only cheating and duplicating to power up the armor.
Yeah,
which
I think we said to you, we said at the time, we should just be able to upgrade our armor, like our armor level, and then whatever set you equip, it's set to that level. But instead, like, if you want to wear the water armor, to swim faster, got to go into the menu, got to change into my water suit. Then you swim across the lake, and then you start climbing up a cliff. You're like, now I need to equip my climbing gear. You go in and clip the climbing gear, and then the climbing gear's only got 3 hills, and it's just it's awful.
And any game in 2023
that
you haven't played, you want it, you think you will?
Well, I mean,
is there any game in 2023 you think you want to play?
Well, I bought Advance Wars 1 and 2 just because I had that spare ticket lying around. So I'm hoping at some point I'll replay Advance Wars 1 and 2 if I need that fix. What about you? Is there anything you want to sort of go back and play? Okay. Did you end up playing Mario RPG?
No, but I've decided now, thanks to game sharing, I will.
Okay. Oh, good. I enjoyed it. It was a nice. It was like 10 hours.
I really want to buy Kirby.
Of course, you want to buy Kirby. Mario RPG was like 10 hours long. I think I've
just gotten Kirby obsessed. Like, I just wanted to buy all the Kirby Gashapon and Kirby figures, and I want to experience that Kirby game as well for some reason.
That's fair enough. And when you're done, you can game share it to me, and I will ignore it. All right, 2024. Take us to last
2024, year. Nick. We're good, or are we cutting each other off?
Unless there's anything else you want to talk about in 2023. I mean, Pikmin 4. We probably should talk more about Pikmin 4. Like, that was just a phenomenal game from like start to finish.
Don't watch our spoiler cast.
Yeah, like we definitely didn't expect it. I didn't expect it to be 50 hours long. Which was just like that was such a refreshing little gift.
What a game!
Yeah,
bring on the Switch 2 edition.
Yeah, bring back Bingo Battle. # bring back Bingo Battle.
Bring back Bingo Battle. Yes, please. All right, Nick. 2024. I felt like this is when like Zelda was the end. Yeah, we sprinkled in a few other games like Pikmin at the end and a couple Mario games, but like, 2024, like the Switch is over, man. Like. We need the new thing.
Yeah.
Mario Party Jamboree is actually really good. But we haven't... we played a little bit. Played a couple maps, but we could play more.
I'll be buying it for Switch too.
The Mario & Luigi RPG didn't review very well at all. That NES Champion thing, I did not care for one bit. MEI, which I think is a cool surprise, and I just... it's a story, or whatever. It just feels like, it's such a small niche title. Endless Ocean, ugh, no thanks.
No, thank you.
Paper Mario, GameCube port. I mean, it's a good game, but I just didn't. It is a good game. I just didn't love it.
It's probably the second best Paper Mario.
Yeah, it is. It's good. It is good. It's just. Not exactly as good as I remembered. That's
just another old game that we didn't feel like playing.
Luigi's Mansion 2, again, I said I love that game, but
I
don't need to replay it on Switch.
Yeah.
Another code, a DS port, I think.
Yeah.
Mario and Donkey Kong, a Game Boy Advance port.
Yeah.
And Princess Peach Showtime, which not really for us, and I'm glad it exists. So, if there's a lot of younger ladies out there and that's their first game, I'm awesome.
Yeah.
And then the big Zelda game, which you haven't played.
Yeah. That's maybe I'll
the big little Zelda game, I should say.
It just and that's the thing. I think that's when I was able to admit to myself, like, I like Zelda games, but I didn't want another top down like Link's Awakening sort of cutesy. Like, I want big, meaty, juicy. I want to say. Like loosely proper Zelda games. Like, even though Wind Waker was only 30 hours, like Wind Waker was a solid, awesome Zelda game. Like, I don't need it to be another 100. Like, I don't need the next one to be 100-hour Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Give me a 30-hour Zelda. I want a 30-hour Zelda. Yeah,
There's no, it's right there, Nick.
that's right.
It's a 20 hour Zelda game.
Yeah, it's another little cutesy
It's a Zelda game.
lame one.
It's a Zelda game that's just cute.
All right. Because I feel like I think you're right though. Looking at the release calendar, 2023 I feel like was the, at least for me anyway. I think that was the end of the Switch, and 2024 they're like, all right, yeah, here's some things to keep a couple people busy until Switch 2 comes out. So yeah, I don't think I played anything on there in that list in 2023. I don't think I touched. Sorry, in 2024, I didn't touch any of those.
Oh,
But
you didn't get Paper Mario Thousand Year Door? I thought you did for some reason.
nah, I must have just played more indie games on the Switch. But I think that sort of takes me to we've been going for 45 minutes, so probably got another 10, 15 in us as it is. But do you want to tell me what would be your favorite indie games on the Switch? It's like just going through a
Indie
few.
game. Oh,
Yeah, like I had a little bit of a scroll through my list here of just like things that I really loved on the Switch that when they came through. So we got games like Celeste that we played on the Switch. You got Cuphead, which like was hard as hell, but we played the crap out of.
yeah.
Hollow Knight was another third party, like just fantastical, amazing thing. Replaying Ori and the Blind Forest and Will of the Wisps on Switch was just a beautiful little
I
gem.
mean, you played them on Switch?
Yeah, I
Wow.
replayed them both on Switch. Yep. What
Man,
else we
I
got
did
on
them
here?
on Xbox.
South Park. I did enjoy South Park. As I'm not sure if that's generally that probably wouldn't be our game, but I think South Park really surprised us. But what else do I have?
I think I was definitely more on the Metroidvania side of things on Switch.
Prince of Persia?
SteamWorld Dig 2 was one of those really early Switch titles. Yeah, Prince of Persia, that's not indie.
Mm.
I really like the Shovel Knight, Spectre of Torment. That was
Oh
on
yeah.
Switch launch title. Snake Pass. I don't think that was for you, but I thought that was actually
Oh no,
really
right, yeah,
fun.
Snake Pass. I remember
Uh,
that.
the
Yeah.
mu- the Mummy Demastered. That was actually a really cool Metroid-like game. You had the ukulele titles as well.
Suika,
Axiom Verge,
Suika,
Suika game,
Hades.
um, Hades Ikaruga GameCube port,
Oh my god.
SteamWorld Heist, Guacamelee 2. I had Blaster Master Zero 2,
Oh.
Dead Cells,
Oh yeah, Dead Cells as well.
Shantae and the Pirate's Curse,
Oh,
Cadence of Hyrule,
Cult of the Lamb. Oh my god, that game was phenomenal.
Untitled Goose Game, Nick, The
The
Messenger,
yeah, the last campfire I
Tower
really
4,
enjoyed as well. Yeah, but
Over the Top Tower Defense, Screen Cheat, Mark of the Ninja,
there were some really great indie
a
games.
short hike,
Oh, Short Hike as well. That was another great one.
Iconoclast.
What would you say would be your top three like sort of indie games that non Nintendo published games on the Switch that like you really enjoyed?
Non-Nintendo. Oh,
I feel like mine would have to be a
that's
toss up between Hollow Knight. I'd say Hollow Knight, Hades, and probably Ori. Yeah, definitely Ori. Hades, Hollow Knight, and Ori be my top three.
I don't know if we're gonna have some top three, but I'm gonna say Oxenfree.
Oh,
I think it's
Oxenfree, yeah,
one of those early Switch titles.
yeah. I
What
played
a
that.
really cool
Yeah,
experience
and
that was. And I've got Oxenfree 2, but I haven't touched that yet.
so if you replay, I mean, did you end up playing it to have the brother come alive
Nick?
at the start?
No.
Oh, I did. It was very
You
exciting.
didn't say Death's Door?
Oh yeah, Death's Door, and Death's Door and Tunic. I didn't we? I think I played those on my Xbox. I think that's why.
Okay. I think it's hard for me to say without more preparation of what my top indie title is. But I think the one that the Switch game that I think made me the happiest is Kirby Forgotten Land. Just say
Really?
like that. Just every time I think about that game, I'm like, yeah, that was a great game. Like I can just feel the smile on my face thinking about it.
Yeah.
Just a surprise and delight, as they as they say.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's a good point. I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, Zelda definitely had some things when I played. I'm like, oh, I didn't like this. I didn't like that. But you're right. A game that kept a smile on my face the whole time probably would have been Pikmin 4. Like, I think I was just smiling and
Yeah,
having fun. Like, the entire 40, 50 hours I played of that. Zelda was sometimes stressful, or just like, oh, I'm dying, or this is too hard, or like, oh, I'm out of resources. And as much as I loved the crap out of it, yeah, Pikmin 4, I think, was the one that probably kept me smiling the longest time. But yeah, I can see everything that I've seen of Kirby, and I've seen you with Kirby, is just nothing but happiness and sunshine and like just good times
and
and
Kirby turns into Elden Ring. That's it. It really does, and I don't know how to explain that to people or why they would think those two things are the same.
yeah,
But it really does get good challenging as well.
yeah.
Um, yeah, just so cool. Who
And
doesn't? Who doesn't love Kirby?
well,
Really?
true, yeah. I know my most played Switch game is Pokemon Unite. But it's
You did that didn't even come up once, Nick.
no, it didn't, it's
Wow.
not even on
I
the
guess
list anymore.
it's not published by Nintendo, so it wasn't on that photo.
Yeah, but I played like 600 hours of that. But it's yeah, there's still games that I prefer and I like better. On it's that's yeah, Pokemon Unite's just a junk food game.
Oh, imagine that on Switch too, Nick.
Oh no, it barely runs on Switch One, so hopefully it runs well on Switch Two.
Nick, you said you wanted it at the start. You're like, oh, I'm going to be a bit more negative than you think I was.
Yeah.
Do you think like the Switch has given you like a negative experience, or you just like, they're all ports, or those games aren't what I wanted? Like, where's Wind Waker HD? Like,
I think yeah, like just like we were saying at the start, there's just a lot of ports and a lot of just a lot of old games that they've done, or even then the new ones that they've done just didn't hit the same way that I think they were supposed to. Like as much as I think we just, I think I just expect more in like by the time we get to 2022 and they release a game like Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, which just like yeah, we talk about it all the time off air and in chats and stuff of just how big Pokemon is and how much money it makes, and obviously they're limited with the hardware that they have, but just the best thing they can create is Scarlet and Violet, and it just ran so poorly and so and you know, and I think like looking at every year, there's a lot of really good things. Like say,
are you blaming Nintendo? Or are you blaming Game Freak?
oh, I think mainly, I feel like it has to be Nintendo, right? Because even something like, you know, you look at all the other years and there's like Mario Odyssey, fantastic. You can't really fault that game at all. Breath of the Wild, when it came out, it was a phenomenal, fantastic experience. It was a port of a Wii U game, but like still a fantastic experience. But the rest of it's kind of just like, there's nothing that's really, they apart from Zelda, they don't really have a Last of Us. They don't really have a Horizon. They don't really have a game that I think people talk about the same way when Spider-Man came out, of just how big that was. But maybe I'm just not in the culture the same way. Like you look at, I mean, obviously Animal Crossing sold gangbusters and Ring Fit Adventure sold 15 million copies, and I'm just like, is that? It's not really. I don't know. It's a different type of game, I want to say.
You don't have the AAA cinematic blockbuster.
Yeah, and I think I've just always been a little bit disappointed with the technology, with the exceptions, the couple exceptions. Sometimes playing Zelda when you're doing that final boss and you're like flying around on the dragons and then you're jumping off and then there's explosions everywhere and like okay, this is pretty cool. I don't know. But then when I compare it to games like say God of War Ragnarok, which is just like this amazing cinematic epic tale with these incredible stories and characters and voice acting and motion capture and voice actors and all these sorts of things. But then you play Metroid, and Metroid, like Samus still doesn't really have a voice. Link still doesn't really have a voice. Mario still runs around going, woohoo, yippee. And it's just like, you know, like they're not really characters that you can, I'd say, build an emotional connection and relationship with. Whereas I feel like PlayStation games.
Yeah, I see your point about that.
Yeah, I feel like PlayStation games have more of an emotional impact and more of an emotional connection, whereas Nintendo's more just sort of fun. If that makes sense. Yeah. Two very different systems, and like I said at the start, Switch has still always been my side console. But do you have any negative things about the Switch, like the Joy-Con drift for all the controllers and the?
Well, I have so many Joy-Con, none of them drifted. The only like throughout the whole Switch life cycle, people complaining about drift. I'm like, what is this bullshit problem? Like, they're just losers. Like, mine are fine. The only controller that drift on me was the maroon PS5 controller. The controller I used the least out of every controller, and like that is the one that drifted. Like,
Yeah.
like, so I guess I know I'm not a normal person where I keep getting Joy-Con, but I think I just love the, hey, do you want to customize or make your machine feel fresh approach of the Joy-Con?
Yeah.
And just personalized it. So I love the Joy-Con aren't comfortable, right? Like,
No,
they're not.
and that's as much as
The
you love
Pro
the
controller
Joy-Cons,
is where it's at.
like this tiny little, like when I want to play games, I don't want this. This is awful. Look at it, and like I'm just even when you pull them out together and you play holding the two of them, they still feel like tiny little Kit Kat break-off things.
Mario Odyssey was the only one that felt kind of like good
Yeah,
to do the split Joy-Con, if that makes sense.
yeah.
For some, and I think there was a lot of like just naturally feeling like Little Punch Maraca type vibes. Was there a Maracas game on Switch? Surely. Yeah,
Yeah,
Samba de Amigo or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
The drumming one, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Like, I understand that you're saying like it didn't have those big AAA blockbuster experiences with the emotional connections of the characters. I don't think I missed it because you've said it. It's a secondary console and a secondary experience. Cool. Spider-Man was incredible. God of War Ragnarok was incredible. Last of Us Part 2, Part 1, 2.
Both of them. Yeah.
2020. That was on PS4.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was on PS4. Like, also incredible, right? Those all came out. Was there a Batman game? No, there wasn't a Batman game.
Well, but still,
Not a good one. Not a good
no,
one.
not a good one.
I felt like I wasn't missing out on those things because they're on the PS5, right? They were there, and the Switch was always like with me in the bedroom, on my train, in the other lounge room, whatever, with me traveling. I think, yeah, I was getting the best of those both worlds, and again, I know I've said this multiple times. I'm moving around all the time. I can do that with Switch. I couldn't do that with PS5. And I remember like when Final Fantasy VII 2 Part 2 Rebirth came out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I've got the phone controller. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the streaming thing. And I do it for 5 minutes. And I'm like, this is like, it barely works to me. Like, it does work, but it's just not, it's too many steps to play remote play for me.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I know what you mean. I think you sort of hit the nail on the head there, where it almost feels like, you've got your main console and your secondary console, and it's, I don't want to say the Switch is like the baby console for babies, because that's not really like, but I think about say my experience last year with Black Myth Wukong, and just how intensely I like that game, and like Elden Ring, and just how. And at the moment, well, I've just finished it, Clair Obscur Expedition 33. The way that those games grabbed me and just had me so invested in everything, like in the characters and like the music and just the whole experience.
Is it getting the trophies, Nick?
Maybe it's the trophies. I don't know, but like even like Spider-Man, and just how much like I'm so engaged with everything going on. And then I love my Switch. I love playing my Switch games, but I feel like it hits different. And I wonder if it's maybe a technological issue, or if it's just maybe a personality type issue. Because like I said, I can't imagine Switch 2 coming out and then Link suddenly having something that's a little bit more adult, for lack of like doing a God of War type thing. It's completely different games. Like that's a bad example, but
that'll be that. Who knows what's going to happen?
I mean, and that's
imagine if there's a new the Pikmin, Kratos reimaginating on Switch 2.
But if Switch 2 does end up being as powerful as it seems, I mean, and they say they bring out games like, we've got the Final Fantasy 7 coming out, and it looks the same as it did pretty much on PS4 or PS5. So like that Switch 2 could be maybe the turning point, where if Clair Obscur comes out on Switch, maybe that's the place I want to play it again. I don't know.
The big games on PS5, Like, yeah, plenty of times I got the platinum, right? On God of War,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, Elden Ring,
Yeah.
even almost Final Fantasy. I couldn't do
Yeah,
that.
it was so hard.
Sorry.
It was so
But like,
hard.
I did everything. I got 100% of what, but I just didn't get the platinum because I didn't want to do those stupid ass mini games with Johnny or whatever.
Yep, yep.
But every time I finish one of those games, like I am so burnt out. Right, I can't. I don't want to turn the PS5 on and sit there for 2 months. Right, and
Yeah.
I couldn't jump to the next big game. Like I just couldn't.
Mm.
But I could always play my Switch.
Mm. Yeah, that's
So
fair. Yeah, I don't know. It's I'm hoping we get more adult orientated experiences on Switch 2, and it looks like from everything we've seen that Switch 2 is being marketed towards an older audience. Like we said, like the
adults with adult money.
yeah, adults with adult money. Like we were talking about, like the Joy Cons. Look like they're more adult size now. Instead of this tiny little thing, it looks like it's almost twice the size, and it'll fit into your hand a little bit better as a controller. And everything just looks like it's much higher quality. And then they've got that game coming out that whatever it is, Bloodborne adjacent.
Ah, yes.
So there will be, for lack of a better word, more adult engaging experiences on Switch 2, which is like I'm all here for it. I'm ready for it. And as much as I love my Switch, I think we're both ready for.
Oh yeah, we're ready.
We're so ready for this next one. Yeah.
But Nick, we had like been a pretty good 8 years. Nintendo's output, mixing with old and new remakes and stuff. At least to me, every year there's 3 or 4 games I want to play. Right? It looks like they released between 9 and 12 games a year, which is actually kind of a lot. But there's always something, and
Yeah.
I don't need to play something. I don't need to play something nonstop all the time.
Yeah.
Like I play this thing, cool, have my fill. I'm good for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Until I get that itch again, or months.
Yeah, all months. Yeah. No, you make a very good point.
I think we're at the end, Nick.
I think we're at the end.
Is there anything else you want to talk about, say?
Whoa. Is there anything that that didn't come to Switch that you really wanted?
Wind Waker HD.
Yeah, Wind Waker.
I did not buy it on Wii U. I borrowed yours, and I'm
really?
like, I so want to. I want to give Nintendo my money for that product. So many fun memories. I've still got the GameCube one in my drawers. I can't bring myself to sell it.
That's amazing.
And with the Master Quest add-on thing, but I don't. I don't want to play. I don't want to play the GameCube port.
Yeah.
I want to play the one with the Swift Sail.
Yeah. I think Twilight Princess port. I think for me is like I love Twilight Princess.
Well, yeah, obviously I bought that one, and I'm not selling that amiibo. But
no,
I didn't. I didn't. Oh, it was fine.
It was fine.
Anything? Oh, I don't know if I'm missing anything that I'm really thought I want more of. Arms 2. No.
More Smash characters. I'm hoping we get more Smash characters for Switch 2.
I'm content with the amount of Smash characters we did have in the end.
Yep.
I think that having the DLC over 3 years, it prolonged the life of the game in a really good way.
Oh yeah,
for me, and I think that was kind of a bit of a theme as well. A lot of games did get DLC or expansions, but Smash hit the best. Even if I didn't enjoy Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, looking forward, what tracks are going to be here for the next, the next 4-pack of that was kind of cool. Both Pokemon games got DLC packs as well. That didn't really do it for me. The Splatoon 3 DLC absolutely did it for me. No, that's not on the list.
Yeah.
That needs to be a standalone game. That is so good. Even Luigi's Mansion 3 got multiplayer DLC. So, yeah.
Just the little
Captain
console
Toad got DLC. So, yeah. Looking forward to what Switch 2 can do.
And it's an interesting time too, going with I guess you had the Nintendo Entertainment System, and then you got the Super Nintendo, where they kind of continued on the name there, but then the 64, the GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U, they sort of flopped with that one. Then the Switch, and now we're getting, I'd say it's what Nintendo's maybe first direct console sequel, like Switch 2.
Yeah.
It's
first one with a number.
Yeah, first one with a number. And
is DS to 3DS like that's a sequel?
Yeah, true. But as far as their consoles go, and it'll be interesting to see because I feel like not that I think the Switch was meant for children. I remember going from the Wii U to then holding the Switch and being like, oh god, the Wii U just feels like a cheap plastic crappy toy. But now after having,
I can't wait to say that in 3 days' time.
Yeah, once we get
the Switch.
Yeah, and I think I feel like we'll have that exact same feeling with Switch 2 when we hold it and just see like we've seen the size of it at the museum, but to actually feel it in our hands compared to this one, I think it's just going to make this thing feel like a piece of trash, to be honest. And I'm looking forward to this being trash. I'm ready for the new one.
Ready to sell, transfer, sell, move on.
Yep.
It must be time to pirate the original Switch.
If you can figure it out, let me know.
Nick, I watched some video where someone has done an expansion or entire story of Pikmin 3 Deluxe.
Oh wow!
And I need to figure out how to. My computer's probably not powerful enough to emulate a Switch, but I'm like, how do I mod my Switch to play this campaign that they've created?
Yeah, I'd love to know. Oh well, that's I think that's us, everybody. Thank you for watching if you're watching on YouTube or listening if you're listening on one of our podcast services. Actually, Jeffrey, I checked and we're not actually on the Listener app, which does a lot of podcasts as well, which is where
Listener app? Okay, I will.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look into the.
I will try to find that.
It's where
the one the radio shows do.
It's where I listen to Hamish and Andy at the moment, and Audible as well.
Audible does podcasts now.
Audible, yeah, I was listening.
I thought they were a book.
Well, they do podcasts as well. That's where Hamish and Andy are as well. So I'm like, if that's where Hamish and Andy are, then we got to be on there as well. But don't forget to.
I'll figure that out.
Leave a comment with your favorite Switch game and your favorite Switch experience. If you know a good place of how we can pirate the original Switch now, maybe leave a comment with a link for that. But,
OLED model, please. I don't want to pirate the original.
No. But yeah. Thank you for joining us. Share some of your Switch memories and what you're looking forward to in Switch 2, and I guess we'll see you next time on Nick and Jeff when we have jumped into the next era of Switch 2.
And maybe Nick will do a Claire Obscure 33 video.
Oh, I really want to. I really want to.
I'll watch it.
Just play it. Just play the game.
I'm 1/3 the way through.
Everyone play Claire Obscure. It's so good. I love it so much. Oh my god, best.
Maybe I'm just too devastated by the end of Act 1 to continue.
Well, wait till you reach the end of Act 2. Oh my god, it's like Game of Thrones up in here. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Love you, Nick. See ya.
Love you too.
Cut off heaps.